Hello there. I decided it would be a good idea on some weeks to record the presentation of the appendix slides because there's often a lot of good, interesting material in there. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I will talk through the appendix slides for week 11, which is basic principles on defense. So you remember from the presentation that there are about 6 primary principles that you want to remember. And I hate memorization, but kind of got to memorize these. And they're not all that hard to remember. So first is play second hand low. If declares on your right and leads a card, almost always it's best to play second hand low. And it's important to do that in tempo. If you pause and think for a while, declarer may start to wonder what you're thinking about and may figure out something to do on offense. Second, and this is an exception to the first one, if declarer on your right leads an honor or dummy leads an honor, and you have an honor that you can cover it with, like they lead the queen and you have the king, it's important to cover their honor with your honor. It has the potential of setting up a card in partner's hand. In third seat, if you have touching cards, like a queen, jack, 10, and it's your turn to play the lowest one. That helps partner know where the other cards are. I don't have examples in this. I'm just reminding you of these things. And lead through dummy's strength and around to dummy's weakness. The idea is if dummy has the king, jack in a suit and you lead that suit and dummy's on your left, you can lead through that. Maybe partner has the ace queen behind it and can do some damage. And if dummy's on your right, you want to lead whatever the weakest suit dummy has, because then when partner plays third, dummy won't be able to take partner's trick, and you'll be finessing declarer on the way over to partner. Generally, you want to return partner's opening lead. And super, super important is stick to your opening lead and signaling agreements that we talked about in the last few weeks. And that includes on opening lead, do not lead an unsupported ace. It's much better to hang on to that card and hopefully kill declarer's queen, queen or king with it. And versus a suit contract, don't lead away from an unsupported ace. So if you have a suit that's ace, jack, 9, 3, just don't lead that suit. Now against no trump, that's fine, because we don't mind giving up a trick against no trump if we can establish tricks that we'll take later. Alrighty, so what are in the appendix slides? This is a lovely little hand showing some defense fundamentals. North, south are playing in 3 no trump, and west, looks like West should probably lead the 4 of spades, fourth from the longest and strongest. So West leads the 4 of spades. It looks like North-South can win 3 heart tricks and 2 diamonds and 5 clubs, which will be 10 tricks, and they'll make their contract. In fact, they'll make an over trick. But West leads the 4 of spades, the fourth from the longest and strongest. East will play the king, not the ace. East will play the king, the lower of touching cards or lowest of touching cards. And then East will continue partner's suit. Partner had a reason to lead the suit. So East will continue the suit. East will win the ace, and then East will play the 7, which will run over to West queen, and West will take 2 more tricks. So East-West took the first 5 tricks for down 1. If East-West do anything else on defense, declarer will make her contract. No rocket science here, just fundamentals. On opening lead, don't lead an unsupported ace. I've talked about this a lot of times, but it's always good to see it again. There's no always in bridge, but this is about as close as you'll ever get. An unsupported ace means you have the ace, but not the king. So let's look at an example. You're on lead, You have ace and a couple little ones. Here's what could happen if you lead the ace. Suppose the other cards look like this. Dummy comes down with three little ones. If you do this, if you lead the ace, what's going to happen? It's going to set up declarer's king. But if you don't lead the ace, declarer can never take a trick in that suit. If you help her by leading the ace, it'll set up her king. So you want to wait patiently and hope to capture declarer, a high card from declarer with your ace. Aces are for taking kings with. Let's look at example number 2. It's basically the same idea, just a little fleshed out on north-south. If you lead the ace, maybe the layout of the cards looks like this. If you lead the ace, declarer is now going to win the king and the queen. But if you don't lead the ace, then eventually partner can lead the jack through the king, and you'll be able to kill the king, and declarer will only get one trick. And similar, on opening lead, if you have an unsupported ace against a suit contract, don't lead that suit. Don't lead away from the unsupported ace. Here's what can happen. Same layout of the cards that we saw in the first example. You lead a little one and it rides around to the king. But if you don't start this suit, eventually the queen jack 10 will get led through the king and declarer will take no tricks unless you help declarer. If you have the ace and the king, then it's perfectly fine to lead the ace. And in this case, attitude signaling, you'll lead the ace. Partner does not have the queen. Partner is worried about continuing this suit. Partner will play a low card, and you will change suits because partner discouraged this suit. And then later, partner will lead the jack through declarer's queen, and you will be able to kill declarer's queen. But if you start out with the ace king, declarer will get a trick with the queen. This concept is hard to demonstrate, but it's really, really important. Whenever you start a new suit on defense, on average, you give away about half a trick to declarer. Here's a great example. Some people call this the frozen suit example. What's going to happen if declarer starts this suit? She'll lead toward the queen, and the king will win the queen. And then later, she'll lead toward the jack, and the ace will take the jack. And declarer can never take a trick in this suit. But if the defense starts the suit, suppose you lead a little one from your ace, declarer will play small, and now partner's stuck. If partner goes up with the king, declarer has the queen jack, which will be good for a trick. And if partner plays small, then the jack will win the trick. Some people call this a frozen suit. Whichever team starts the suit ends up giving up a trick. It is totally cool. I should have the little Mickey Mouse with the dancing cards here. Keep an eye out for suits like this, whether you're on offense or on defense, and wait for the opponents to start the suit. Last example is something called don't give declarer a slough and a ruff. Well, what is that? What does that mean? Don't lead a suit in which both declarer and dummy are void. Sometimes in the play of a hand where you and your partner have a long suit, you play a couple of rounds, you take a couple of tricks, and then dummy and declarer both run out of the suit. You don't want to lead that suit. Why? Because it'll let declarer slough a loser in one hand and ruff in the other hand. And I'll show you an example, but this is the way to think of it, a slough and a ruff. Suppose spades are trump and you're on lead as West. And it's obviously near the end of the hand. People only have 4 cards left. So let's look at declarer and dummy. They got two spade tricks, they got a club trick, and it looks like they have a sure heart loser, right? But what happens if West leads a diamond? Declarer doesn't have diamonds in either hand. So declarer will throw away the two of hearts from dummy and will ruff the diamond in her hand. And the sure trick that you guys had in hearts has gone away. Side comment, it's often good defense to make declarer rough in the long trump hand because that's a trick declarer is going to get anyway, but it's really bad news if it's a slough and a rough. That's what I've got. Hope you enjoyed it.